12 cute things cats do that are actually serious. In this video, we're going to explore 12 things that cats do that seem adorable on the surface, but in reality are a lot more serious than you might think. These behaviors can sometimes signal underlying health concerns, or even their need for more attention and care. So while you might find your cat's antics cute, it's important to recognize the bigger picture behind these actions. 1. Kneading you like dough. When your cat presses their paws into your lap or a soft surface, it might seem like a comforting habit, almost like a form of relaxation. While that's true, this behavior is rooted in kittenhood. Kittens need their mother's belly to stimulate milk production. As adult cats, they might need you because they still associate the action with comfort and security. However, if your cat is suddenly kneading excessively, it could also be a sign of stress or anxiety. It's their way of self-soothing when they're feeling unsettled or nervous, so be mindful of any changes in this behavior that might suggest they're not feeling their best. 2. Purring when they're in pain. A cat's purring is often interpreted as a sign that they're content. However, it's not always the case. Cats also purr when they're in pain or feeling unwell. It's a self-soothing mechanism for them. Some studies suggest that purring releases endorphins, which help to reduce pain. If your cat is purring but also displaying signs of distress, lethargy, or avoidance, don't just assume they're content. This could be a subtle clue that something's wrong, and a visit to the vet might be necessary. 3. Scratching everything in sight. We all know cats love to scratch, whether it's your furniture, carpets, or even walls. But beyond marking territory, scratching is essential for a cat's physical health. It helps them stretch their muscles and maintain sharp claws, but it also has mental health benefits. When a cat scratches, it's also releasing pheromones from glands located in their paws. This is part of their instinct to claim their space and reduce stress. However, excessive scratching can be a sign of boredom or anxiety, particularly if it's happening more frequently than usual or on things they normally wouldn't target. If your cat is scratching excessively, try providing new scratching posts or engaging in more playtime to keep them mentally stimulated. 4. Chasing after random objects. You might have noticed your cat suddenly darting after a moving shadow, a small insect, or a piece of crumpled paper. While this might seem like playful behavior, it's rooted in their hunting instincts. Cats are natural predators, and this kind of behavior can be a sign of a healthy, engaged mind. However, if your cat starts chasing shadows or objects that aren't there, this could indicate a vision problem or neurological issue. It's important to observe if this behavior is consistent and whether it affects their ability to focus or interact with the world around them. 5. Bringing you gifts, including the worst things ever. If your cat has ever brought you a gift, you probably found yourself both impressed and horrified. Maybe a mouse, a bird, or something less than pleasant. While it's certainly an unwelcome surprise, this behavior is rooted in your cat's instinct to care for their family. In the wild, cats bring food back to their kittens or the group. Your cat might be offering these gifts to you as a sign of affection and an effort to contribute to the household. However, if this behavior becomes excessive, it could signal that your cat feels insecure about their ability to hunt or provide for themselves. Alternatively, if they're hunting inappropriately, such as going after larger animals, it might suggest an overactive predatory instinct that needs to be redirected with more engaging activities like toys or structured playtime. 6. The sudden zoomies. One moment your cat is curled up asleep, and the next, they're running around the house at lightning speed for no apparent reason. Known as the zoomies, this burst of energy is usually harmless and often indicates that your cat has pent-up energy they need to release. However, if this happens frequently and is accompanied by other signs of anxiety, it might be a signal of stress or an overactive nervous system. Ensure that your cat has enough space to run around safely and is getting the proper amount of exercise and mental stimulation to balance their energy levels. If you notice an increase in zoomies that seem out of the ordinary, it might be worth talking to your vet to rule out any health issues. 7. Hiding when they're not sick. It's well known that cats often retreat when they're not feeling well. But what about when they're perfectly fine? If your cat has suddenly become more reclusive than usual, it's important to consider whether their behavior might be due to stress, anxiety, or environmental changes. A sudden shift in their routine, or even a new pet or person in the household can trigger this behavior. Cats are creatures of habit, and they often need time to adjust to changes. However, if your cat continues to hide for extended periods and shows signs of discomfort when they interact with you, it might indicate an underlying issue that requires veterinary attention. 8. Excessive grooming. It's normal for cats to groom themselves, but when it becomes excessive, it could be a sign of stress, anxiety, or even a skin condition. Over-grooming can lead to bald patches or skin irritation, and in some cases, it's a way for cats to manage anxiety or boredom. If your cat's grooming has gone from routine to obsessive, it's essential to evaluate the situation. Stress-related grooming might need a combination of behavioral interventions, like more structured playtime or changes in the environment, as well as a visit to the vet to rule out any medical concerns, such as flea infestations or allergies. 9. Sleeping on your clothes. Sure, it's cute when your cat curls up on your sweater, but it's more than just a cozy spot. Cats have an acute sense of smell, and they associate the scent of your clothes with safety and comfort. By sleeping on your clothes, your cat is seeking emotional reassurance, especially when they're feeling anxious or stressed. If you notice them doing this more often than usual, it might indicate that they're looking for extra comfort, especially if there have been changes in the household. Make sure your cat has a designated safe space, and consider whether you need to make adjustments to reduce any sources of stress in their environment. 10. Following you everywhere. If your cat insists on following you around the house, it may seem like they're just being clingy, but there's more to it. Cats are highly observant and social creatures, and many follow their humans because they feel safe in their presence. However, if your cat has suddenly started shadowing you more than usual, it could be a sign that they're feeling insecure or anxious. This behavior can sometimes be seen in cats who are nervous about changes in their environment, or they may be seeking extra reassurance. It's also worth noting that older cats or those with cognitive dysfunction syndrome may exhibit this behavior as a result of confusion or disorientation. If you're noticing a sudden shift in their clinginess, consider whether there have been any changes in their surroundings or routine that could be affecting them. 11. The belly-up position. You've probably seen your cat roll over onto their back and expose their belly in a moment of pure vulnerability. While many people assume this is an invitation for belly rubs, the truth is a little more complicated. A cat's belly is one of their most vulnerable areas, and by exposing it, they are showing trust. However, this behavior can also signal that your cat is feeling conflicted. They may be relaxed and want affection, but they're also prepared to defend themselves if necessary. If your cat shows their belly but quickly swats or gets agitated when you try to pet them, it's not a sign that they're being playful, it's a warning. The belly-up position may indicate that your cat is feeling overstimulated or unsure about the situation. Pay attention to their body language and respect their boundaries, as the belly-up position can signal both comfort and tension. 12. Chattering at birds and other prey. Have you ever caught your cat staring intently out the window at birds, squirrels, or other small prey and then making a chattering noise? It's both amusing and puzzling. The sound your cat makes is a mix of excitement and frustration, as if they're trying to speak to their prey. This behavior is thought to be a manifestation of their predatory instincts. Some experts believe that chattering is a way for cats to practice their hunting sounds, while others think it's an expression of frustration over not being able to catch their prey. Regardless, the behavior is a sign that your cat is mentally and physically engaged in the hunting process, and it's actually a healthy way for them to channel their natural instincts. However, if your cat is frequently chattering without any apparent reason, it may also be a sign that they are feeling stressed or overstimulated by their environment. Consider whether your cat has enough stimulation and opportunities to hunt in a safe and appropriate way, such as interactive toys or puzzle feeders. It's important to keep in mind that cats, like people, are complex creatures with a wide range of behaviors that reflect their emotional and physical states. By paying attention to these signs, you can ensure that your cat lives a healthy, happy, and comfortable life. If you notice any changes in your cat's behavior that seem out of the ordinary or are accompanied by signs of illness, it's always a good idea to consult with a veterinarian. Your cat's cute behaviors could be their way of telling you exactly what they need. Curious for more insights? Discover the signs they are testing your love or learn the cat signals that mean they trust you. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.